Hello and welcome to tonight's game review of Attack on Titan 2 Final Battle. Since I have the DLC, that's the only reason why you see Final Battle up there, but I will go over the entire game the best I can and give any advice and details and maybe even some tutorials in case you need any help with anything. So I'll give you a quick run through. In story mode, you basically are going through season 1, 2 of the entire anime series Attack on Titan. Another mode is basically just like a hub world for all multiplayer functions. But I'll get into more of that because there's a lot to cover in that. Inferno mode is only unlocked if you can accomplish beating story mode first. And basically, as it says on the bottom, Inferno mode, the highest difficulty setting of story mode. So basically what you're looking at is the highest difficulty in a game in general, because whatever your equipment is will be highly tested in this mode. So if you really think you're that good after beating story mode, this will make you realize it. Character episode mode is basically season 3 content and basically season 3 story, but is only exclusive to the DLC Final Battle. Territory recovery mode is basically a story centered around your custom created character, as in you are going to be the commander of your own regiment and it'll be your story against the Titans. So I'll give you a quick run through of exactly what story mode is. Basically, within this game, you are going to use a custom created character throughout the entire aspect of the game. You are not going to be using any characters like any main character from the series, like Eren, Mikasa, any of those throughout the story. You'll just be using your custom character, which you'll have an opportunity to create once you reach a certain level of the story. But as you can see, there are always NPCs everywhere around the city as you explore different locations. The main thing you need to focus on when you do play is right underneath this bell section, which is almost basically a hub. When you see this icon, that represents your R&D and policies. Different policies have different effects. Most of them are only unlocked if you level up or friendship with a certain NPC is increased to a certain level. Not everything is going to be given to you right off the bat. Since I've unlocked everything, these are everything that you can acquire. And R&D is basically taking any of the bases that you're giving within the game up to level 3, except for the one known as Attack on Base, which always stays at level 1, or it never really had a 1 to begin with. But once you reach base level 3, that's all you got to worry about. And certain characters will guarantee that you'll have access to base level 2 and 3, but that's all behind the friendship. Just so you understand friendship, every time you play any of the story missions or scout missions, any character that you meet is going to have a friendship level. The more you associate yourself and do things with these characters in the mission, the more the friendship levels will increase. Once you reach level 10, that will be the end of it. You're at maximum friendship with any character. And as I said, friendship in this game really does count highly, because the more friendship levels you have, the more you have unlocked content stuff, bases, and the use of these characters become more better with each level. As you can see, if you reach a certain level with, say, Dot Proxys, you can get a new battle preparation for your policy, but only through him can you get it. And of course, it says attack base level 3 is possible. So as you can see, friendship really does count in this game, so do not miss up a possibility for friendship. And over here we have this. With this character, you basically have all of your scout missions. Not everyone is going to be unlocked, but this is where you go if you're interested about all your scout missions, and that does include any of the DLC missions that you have purchased. As you can see, this is all of them. Every scout mission that was a bonus. The only downside is the bonus DLC missions are only a single mission, but that's not a bad thing because of the price. And once you've completed them all, it's just something fun to do. And as a quick tip of advice, when you do decide to do a scout mission, the first thing you do if you want to increase a character's friendship level up fast, just walk up to any NPC and you'll see right there on the bottom it says press Y to invite on a mission. If you invite a character on a mission, there's a better chance of increasing their friendship levels by doing this than the other. If you have any story missions you have completed and maybe you think you could have did better, all you have to do is go to this character and you have the ability to replay any story mission no matter how many times you want in order to get a better grade. Every story mission is replayable. Nothing is one shot, one go. Plus, if you get characters to a certain level with friendship, you can also experience what they call a special conversation or cinematic moment with the character to understand a little bit more about them. Whenever you want to customize your character, always look for private room. That's where 100% of how you customize a character will always be. Because at first you get a simple custom character to use, but as you progress through the story, the more customization parts become available as the private room becomes unlocked. Once you've unlocked the private room, you just go to it, click on the icon, and you automatically go to where it says edit character or start over from beginning. Let's say you're happy with the choice you made. You just go to edit character and you can basically edit anything about your character from body, hair, eyes, pupil, eyebrows, nose, outline of the head or shape of it, the mouth, the skin tone. You could even change the innerwear, jacket, and the cape. And just in case you're curious about the emblems, as I've been asked before, all you have to do is just click on the jacket or cape and just go down till you reach emblem and automatically just decide on which emblem you want to change to. But that's also, you have to progress through the story to unlock that little bit. Once you've done this little bit of customization and you're happy with everything, just press the start button, say yes to finish. Once you've also named yourself and surname, just go to finish and everything's done. Every character as NPC can be found anywhere. All you need to do is press the start button excuse me, and go down to where it says people. Every character that you have met throughout the game will be listed in this list, and all you gotta do is click on them and automatically go to them. Now, let's say you've purchased some DLC costumes for some NPCs and you're curious about how do you access them. You just walk up to any NPC, press B to change outfit, say yes to change, and then you'll automatically see the list of outfits available. Just click on it and it's automatic. And the DLC outfits can also be used in another mode, as that's the only one of the few ways you will be able to use an NPC besides your custom character. If you're curious about increasing your equipment, you just go to this icon with a blade icon over it, and you have the ability to increase any blades or blade equipment in general, which is basically your blade, scabbard, or ODM gear. New construction basically means this is everything that has the ability of being constructed anew. But not everything is going to be 100%. You're going to have to do a little bit of work to make them even better than what they are. But it's just to give you a start. Upgrading is basically a way of making your weapon even stronger than it is and giving you a new version of it as well. Blades, scabbards, and ODM all have upgrades. Reinforce is basically taking the level of your weapon to an even higher degree. It's similar to upgrade, except it makes it even stronger. In other words, a maximum weapon can go up to level 99 alone in reinforce, but if you have a certain item in your list, a rainbow drop I believe it's called, you have the ability to go past 99 and reach over, I'm not sure, maybe 50, at least in red, which is basically the highest you can go. If you want to purchase materials, you just go to this icon and all you have to do is purchase anything you may want. Not every piece of material in the game can be purchased here though. Be aware of that. And if you have too many, you can just go here and sell them as well. Person with the horse icon, this represents the person that will be selling you any of the horses. Horses are basically, they got a small list. There's about 7 horses in total. You got dark bay, dapple gray, bay, chestnut, blue, white, and palomino. You will only get the palomino if you can beat story mode. As far as I know, that is the only way to actually access this horse. And these are the only horses within the entire game, including even the DLC. Gifts are basically items you can give NPCs to increase their friendship levels, to make them even better. Let's see. The training area is also an important aspect for your custom character, as this will be how you level up your character and basically improve certain little aspects of them. You can either go solo training or joint training. I would recommend joint training because you have a better chance of succeeding. Solo training requires too many wings of freedom. So basically, once you've decided on what training you want to do, you just go ODM training, hand-to-hand combat, or lecture. As you can see on the screen, the game indicates which parts will always be increased. With the ODM, your strength and health will be increased. With hand-to-hand combat, your dexterity and agility will increase each time. And lecture basically just increases concentration and leadership. Plus, as you do joint training, you will also be hit with a certain percentage of success to failure rate. Always go with the highest percentage to guarantee you will always succeed. Even if you do fail, which can happen sometimes, you will still get some experience, even though it's going to cost you some wings of freedom. Anyway, either way you look at it. Skills are broken down into a wide variety, seriously a lot. So you want to maybe this is where you're going to focus a lot of your lot of time trying to figure out what skills are best used for your character. Like, or the swoop attack, as long as you're above your enemy, you'll do an interesting power attack from. Spinning slash, basically, if you're from a distance, you'll start spinning to make your attack even more powerful on hit. Multi-strike, you just rapidly tap a button to hit multiple times. Basically, Mikasa and Levi have this skill automatically. Wings of Freedom is a powerful version that you can only get if you can level up Levi to his maximum level. I'm not sure if the DLC has to be included, because for me to get Wings of Freedom, I had to level up Levi to level 15, and that's when this becomes unlocked. And where it says SP is basically how many skill points you're allowed to use, as each one of these skills has a number that represents how many skill points. You get more skill points based off of your level, so always try to gain as many levels as possible. So that's pretty much story mode. So let's see. Now I'll give you a quick run through of what Inferno mode has. One thing to remember about Inferno mode, once you do go to it, they always keep you on the battlefield, but you are not just constricted to the battlefield. There are moments where you will see a dog with a clock icon over his head. If you go to this character with a dog with a clock icon over his head, you will see it will take you basically back to the city. And then you can do anything in daily life as you want. But be advised that even though Inferno mode is very similar to story mode in looks, it does require that your friendship levels be redone. It's going to be done even quicker too, but you do have to go through all 10 levels again with each NPC. I think it just involves a lot of money, no real skills you will gain from this. But increasing friendship will make them more efficient when it comes to Inferno mode. Beyond that, the only thing you got to focus on is, if you haven't completed anything, the red exclamation mark on the map will always tell you where you need to go. Once you've done everything you need to do in daily life as it is, you just go back to the dog and he'll tell you if you want to go back to the battlefield to continue the story. That's all you need to do. Now, another mode is similar to like a multiplayer hub world. Any character, including NPCs that you've unlocked, will basically be available for you here, even your custom character. If you'd like to use as anybody besides your custom character, this is basically where you want to go, because you'll have access to any character you currently have unlocked. Without the DLC, basically another mode is the only way to play as an NPC. Now, with some of the new updates that they've improved, they've made some new additions to another mode. Basically, here's some of the new stuff. If you go to this character and you have too many Wings of Freedom stored up, you can basically just use your Wings of Freedom for materials, rare materials that you cannot get anywhere else, gifts that are one of a kind and maybe have a better chance at increasing a friendship level of an NPC, and of course, equipment. Blades, firearms, all depends on the DLC. If you don't have the DLC, you'll never see firearms. Yeah, always by midnight, I believe the list will always change over. And anytime you just want to use any of your Wings of Freedom for any of these items, they're free to use. All you gotta do is just click on it if you have the appropriate amount. Blade, scabbards, or ODM. Sometimes it even helps to do that instead of upgrading. Let's see. If you're interested about the daily missions, all you got, or multiplayer in general, just go to this character. There's another character on the other side of the map as well that's got the same icon, but to do the same thing. If you want to play with somebody random or even your friends, you just go to click on play together. If you just want to play alone, you're basically already there. Before you do anything, you always got to click on connect to the internet. And it is advised that you do have to be gold in order to do this first. If you don't have gold, you cannot do this. I don't know why they've done that. I think it's kind of ridiculous, but okay. Once you've done that, you will now see the word title and icon appear, and that'll tell you that you're really online and connected. Let's see. And you can also do a daily login with this character as well once you've done the connection. This icon just represents all the leaderboard stuff. Personally, it doesn't mean anything to me, the leaderboards. That's pointless. So I wouldn't even bother. Basically, if you see anybody's icon like this little green icon, that represents an actual character that's in the game. Basically, if they're really playing, I assume they got a sword over their icon. But those green icons you see represent actual players. This icon character, you can use this character's icon to ask the community to help you. You can either provide materials for anybody automatically that could use help, or you could request anybody's help to upgrade an item for you. But that's up to them if they want to do it or not. This is basically the person that helps level up all your NPC characters, your training basically. But it covers every character that's unlocked. You got your basic market stuff, the horse person, the person who sells materials, your weapon shop. Here you can decide on how to change the outfits in another mode. Here you can decide on switching characters to anybody you wish freely in this instant. Over here you have the person that represents all the titans that you have captured. Basically your Titan research. Over here you have your SOS. Basically, if anybody requires help during a mission, a story mission, they can usually just fire an SOS, and you can use this in order to help them if you wish. And you have your policy, which is basically your R&D personnel as well. Basically, in another mode, you have the ability to go through the story, go through scout missions, but with another mode, you have the ability to play as any NPC beyond custom, and you can do it in co-op. Plus, there's also versus modes. If you have friends, I highly recommend trying them out. If not, well, just an idea to think about once in a while. Now, with character episode mode, is broken down into 3 lines of stories. You basically have your regiment, which is represented by this blue line all the way on the top on the bottom left. Then you have the warriors, which is represented by this purple line, but you got to progress in order to unlock the purple line, which is basically Reiner, Berthold, and Annie. A story that you just don't really get to see. The green line represents a different side of the Scout Regiment, but it's all based on season 3 of the anime series. All of this content. Be advised that you cannot use your custom character in any of these modes. You have to use the character that they give you automatically. Now, to make things a little bit easier, if you beat everything, even if you just make it to D and beat all the every stage, you will unlock what they call open equipment, which is a reward for beating everything. Once you beat everything and open equipment is available to you, you're allowed to use every piece of equipment that you have in the game. Because fixed equipment is basically the equipment they've decided for this particular mission, and you can't choose anything different. But with open equipment, everything that you have personally unlocked is available, but only if you beat everything. Blue, basically blue, any of these little icons with a cross swords represents a story mission. If it has a gold icon and it's a book, that just means a cut scene. And they also included a bonus stage where you can actually train and level up a little bit. There's 3 stages called Battle Outside the Walls. Kind of give you a little help leveling up your characters in case you're having too much of a problem with your current level. But pretty much that's really about it for what the DLC story is related. Now, territory recovery mode is almost like an entirely new game that's just centered around your custom character, which is a lot of fun if you're accustomed to scout missions. But you also got to remember that this is your story. This is your regiment. Now, basically, you'll be given your own base to start everything. It's not going to look this amazing looking because you're just starting out, but this is basically what it's going to look like once you've completed everything. And you do have a lot to go through. You have a list of your own custom type of emblems that you unlock throughout the entire part of territory recovery mode. After a while, you're basically going to have your own marketplace, blades, materials, and the occasional NPCs will appear, but you got to earn them through the missions. And of course, you have the horse seller. There's a few areas, like, let's see, you got the war room, you got the residential area, and you got the training area. You'll spend most of your time in the war room because this is where you'll be focusing everything at. This character represents basically your whole way of managing your regiment. Expanding the base is just increase everything like your residential district, plaza, war room, and training ground. Every section of your base can go up to level 10, and that is it. Basically, with the residential, you're allowed to increase how many NPCs are allowed to join your regiment. The numbers should be really 45 because there's 2 particular characters that are the same, but they won't allow it because they're the same character. So you have to decide on who those are going to be. Plaza basically just helps you, increases how many turns you can do when you go on an exhibition. Your war room basically, how many soldiers in a regiment can be deployed, which helps a lot when you need support. Training ground. If you every time you level up training ground, basically you're making your soldiers on the battlefield stronger, and it also helps you out as well. Position personnel. Let's say you got somebody in your regiment. All you got to do is figure out where they are very useful at, because it goes from S to a D rank. S will always give you the best rewards, as in you see here, and D is basically the lowest. But the goal here is any type of bonus that you want over there in the right side corner is what you're really trying to go for. Like, for an example, cleanup squad. If you can get an aptitude of 100, 300, 400, or 500, your camaraderie bonus, the new form of friendship level basically, and invitation bonus, which is also like a little bonus to increase that as well, if you can get somebody to join your regiment after meeting them on the actual battlefield. But once you've reached the highest altitude that you want for your characters, the bonus is always active. You can always manage your personnel. Like maybe you want to get rid of somebody, you can use this. If not, then you don't have to worry about it too much. But let's say you want to change your regiment commander. That's completely up to you. I made myself the commander because it's my regiment, but you can make anybody else. I don't think it has too much of an impact on the gameplay, but that's just something to think about. Changing emblems. You always start off with your standard emblems that you should be accustomed to, but as you get more people and progress through the missions in territory recovery mode, emblems you've never seen before finally get used, and every character is going to have it, including you. The 3 wall icons. You get this icon if you can guarantee beat all the story mission in character episode mode. You can get this icon if you can acquire Ymir. You get this icon if you can join, if Bertold can join you. I believe this is Sasha's icon. This is Krista's icon. I'm not sure exactly how I got this icon, but this became my main staple because that's the only person I want as an icon. My emblem for my regiment is the Queen. You get this icon if you can get Kenny to join you. Let's see. I can't really remember who I got when this icon appeared, but I know some icons do appear if you can progress pretty far in the scout missions. This is Levi's icon. Let's see. This is just your standard. You get this icon if you can beat normal. I think this might be Dot Proxys icon, but I'm not 100% sure. But those are the only ways you can get the icons. You can always change your regiment name, no matter if you don't like it or not. This is basically your new version of R&D, which basically has your policies, all your R&D, and now the new icon, which is basically distress call. Distress call basically can help with supplies, also can increase your recovery if a certain character gets really damaged and you really need them. You could use any amount of Wings of Freedom. 100 I think is the maximum you can use for it, but it's a way of helping get some more supplies and recover your health. If you need more base materials, you can use Wings of Freedom. Now, recruit volunteers is the only way you can get certain characters to join you, and the only characters I know that will join you under this is Zeke, Caravan or Caven, Kenny, Zachary, Dot Proxys, Old Man Keith, older version of Aaron from season 3. Those are the only way you can get those characters. They will never appear on the map unless you go to Distress Call Recruit Volunteers. Your training ground is basically just where you can level up NPCs, and you have your Titan Research Center, just like you have in Story Mode and Inferno Mode. Residential is just where all the residents are basically going to be housed. Plus, it has the ability to, let's say you want to customize your character. This is where you go to customize it, just like you do in the story mode. Nothing's different. Now, what makes territory recovery mode different when it comes to friendship levels, we have something called camaraderie. Basically, with territory recovery mode, you have the ability to choose any character you want, including your custom character. That could be any playable character that you want, you can use as your actual character that you'll be playing as. You can also have 3 members accompany you as well. Sometimes, if you lose on the battlefield, you get a red heart icon. That means this character has been defeated. You can't use this character for a while. Blue means that they're full of, they have no fatigue. They're at top of their game. Basically, if their arms go left and right, they're, I guess you could say, kind of normal, but not top of their game, definitely. Now, to make sense out of camaraderie, basically, like I said, camaraderie is simpler, is like another version of friendship level, except with camaraderie, it always goes up to level 5. It does not go higher and will not. But if you want to have the special conversations like with the story mode, you need to have certain characters go with your party when you go out on an exhibition every time. Once you get the camaraderie to the highest level you can with that character, and as you see underneath conversation, you've done everything you can, like for the past, you'd have to have Aaron, Levi, and in your party. You could have a 4th, it won't matter, but as long as you can get their camaraderie to the highest level, when you come back to your base after the mission, you should be able to see a conversation between all 3 characters. Once you beat normal territory recovery mode, this person will be standing right here as representing your plaza. He basically stands for all 3 difficulties for it. In other words, you have the ability to replay the entire map a whole new, but you lose nothing except the difficulty will change. When you beat normal, Inferno becomes available. If you beat Inferno, Eden becomes available. But you cannot go from normal to Inferno or normal to Eden without beating the one before. As you can see, each time the difficulty increases, there's always something different. Inferno is definitely hard, and it will test everything you know about the game. Eden is basically similar to Inferno, but the rewards are so much better. You'll even get items that you never thought was possible to acquire. Let's see. I guess the only thing left is this person. This is the person that will take you on your expeditions throughout the entire part of territory recovery mode. Once you give him the yes, and you've done everything you need to at your base, you basically just go up to him and he will automatically send you on your way to start your exhibition. When you've progressed far enough into the territory recovery mode, you'll have the ability to do certain things. One, you won't be able to just start from one departure point, you'll have another. But for this, I'm just going to start off with the basic, the departure point. This is where you'll start off automatically. As you can see, this is the entire map that you have to uncover. So you basically have a lot to work towards. Now, when you see an icon with two characters with blue arrows sticking up, that means if you do that stage and complete it, your camaraderie will go up even higher with that group of characters. So always try to go with that the minute you get a chance. A box icon represents the ability to get more materials. Very important if you really care about increasing your base fast enough. Sometimes instead of seeing the two icons of the box icon, you'll see like the face of an NPC. That is how you get them to join your regiment. But with certain characters, you have to, let's say, somebody like Daz, for instance. Since he's so low leveled, like C rank, you just go to his stage, complete the mission with him in it, and he'll automatically join your regiment if you give him the yes. But if you go to a stage that has maybe like an icon with Levi or Irving or Mikasa, they're going to be S grade and they're going to require you do their stage about 4 or 5 times. But once you do it, you will guarantee a yes for them to join if you really want them to. Once you progress far enough over here to the left side of the map, past wall sorry, I kind of lost track of what the name of the wall was. Begins with the M, I know that. Maria, I think. You will come across something called the supply base. If you have a fear of losing the turns, because every time you go into an exhibition you got a certain number of turns, all you gotta do is click on the supply base, and whatever your maximum turn list was will be given to you automatically, no problem. You basically just almost like start anew. It basically just refreshes all of your turns, that's all. Little icons that look like a little bomb, they'll give you some material, they'll give you like a free turn, because you basically, every time you move on the board throughout the map, you're actually exploring. So you'll be given these little icons that are special. Now, I'll give you a quick tutorial on how to actually fight. Best I can anyway. Some people have problems with the controls. I can kind of see that, but if you're accustomed to any type of game involving like the Spider-Man character, should be a breeze then to even understand the controls even better. And you always got a really cool loading screen. Okay, now once you begin the scout mission, you basically just have to eliminate all the Titans on the field. And you have your normal side missions. Side missions will not increase friendship because they don't count in territory recovery mode. Only camaraderie. Basically, if a Titan locks onto you in red zone, don't think this is a danger. You can always blast him in the face with a solar flare or just run away from him. But let's say you do want to deal with this Titan one-on-one, and he does get you back in danger zone. Basically just wait for him to almost grab you and just double A while you're in the air. Wait for the Y of his head, and it automatically, if your equipment is strong enough, it's a one-hit kill. It is going to take a little bit of your blade gauge, and maybe even, no, actually a hook shot as it's called will not take anything from you. So that's something to think about. It's a one-hit kill. If you want to run with your horse, you just hold the RB button, and no, you hold A to dash with them. They have their own gauge, so each horse has their own speed limit and how much stamina they have and so forth. If you want to dismount your horse, you just hold the B button, automatic. Whenever it comes to the bases, sometimes you don't have your full supply list. You just press Y on a base similar to this and you get free amount of equipment. After that, you can just decide on any base you want. Inventory, which is basically your supply base. Automatic artillery is going to attack for you automatically. Frontline is just going to boost the abilities of anybody around it. Bomb base will blow up Titans anywhere near you. Manual is you just fire on your own because of manual. Mining will give you resources throughout the game, throughout the stage while you have it access. A garrison base will randomly give you the ability of having as many base signals as you want. And manufacturing base will give you free items around. It's based on time though. I mean, once your items are full, there's no way you can get more. Basically, you just use the left analog stick to move around without burning too much energy. If you want to jump, just press A. Some characters can double jump or dash jump, which will require some of your gauge to actually do a double jump or dash jump. You just jump once, jump again. To start launching yourself in the air, you need to be close to like a building, a tree, or even a wall. You just press the X button and you're off. Or press it again to keep going. Or jump up in the air to even boost yourself more. Or you could even just hold X as you're near any object in the game and you just keep on just launching yourself freely. And it does not take any gas to hold X. When you see little characters like, well, this ain't a little character, hold on. When you see small Titans that have no arms or legs to attack, you basically, when you have access to your gun, your capture gun, you basically just fire it at them. Now, with a Titan as big as this, you can just initiate what was called the sneak attack, which is exclusive to the sequel Attack on Titan 2 game. You just hold the right trigger and a spyglass will come up. Hold on a second. Once you align it perfectly like that, you see sneak attack. Just press Y and careful the distance, and it's nearly a one-hit kill, but like I said, that's based on your weapons. I like to stay in the danger zone because it basically freezes everything so you can deal with the Titan one-on-one. Plus, there are skills that will give you bonus materials if you initiate a kill with a hook shot. Once you've locked onto a Titan with the RB button, you just use the right analog stick to decide on which part of his body you want to attack. Both arms or legs, you only get to choose one. Anytime you see a gem icon of yellow on a certain limb, that means if you destroy that part, you get a free piece of material. It's always random, but if you see it, you should always try to destroy that limb. Like with his leg, let's destroy his leg so you'll see what I mean. Once you're airborne, you just press Y to launch yourself and then press Y again to attack. You can use the left analog stick to go around his body to attack from a different angle. Whenever you see that double circle, if you see that yellow connect with that other circle, that means you're going to initiate a critical attack. Sometimes it's easy to initiate, sometimes it's hard, but it's always worth it. Always replenish your gauges, blade or gas whenever you have a chance. If it's halfway full, I do recommend that you do fill it up fast. With the DLC, if you do any scout missions, you will be given something called overpowered equipment, which is basically if you use your blade equipment, you'll be given the deadly thunder spears. If you use your firearms, you will be given a Gatling gun. The Gatling gun is basically an unlimited supply of ammo, but it does have a time limit. The thunder spears are limited to a certain number of attacks, but they do range from different levels. These are the thunder spears. You could either do the maximum damage or do little damage. Little damage is just long distance attacking no matter what part you target, and just fire. And you'll still have some gauge left to attack with, but that's just your standard thunder spear attack. You can do this a good number of times before it's empty, and you can always get it back if you do complete a side mission. Now, this is going to be a full attack, full damage thunder spear attack. It takes up most of the gauge to do it, but the damage is definitely worth it. You just walk up to your horse and press B, and you automatically mount them instantly. If you have any type of squad members on your team and you're curious about using them, you just hold the left trigger, and depending on what their icon represents, you can initiate them. An icon of crossed swords can either mean two things. Either they're going to attack harshly or maybe cut off the character's arms. Okay, like Connie, for instance, with this Titan, is going to attack his arms, as you're about to see. A few characters have this ability, some have the other, but that comes in that helps in a lot of ways, because let's say you just want to take out his arms because he's got an item or a material piece in it. And because you can use it as many times as you want, you just got to worry about that time limit coming back. That's all. If you want to go over a building quick, just walk up to the building, hold X, keep holding X, and you'll fly over the building. Always lock onto a Titan's limbs and arm before you initiate combat. Now let's say you got somebody like Molbit, Haji, or Sasha in your team, and you're dealing with just your standard Titan that's not a boss level. To beat them in 1 second, all you got to do is just initiate them. It is the instant capture and beat. You do not have to cut off any limbs to use this support to work. And if you meet any NPCs, like I just helped Rico here, if you have a full team and you just want to replace Rico, for instance, just walk up to Rico, press B, and decide where she is going to be set at. And it's instant. The only difference is, since I replaced Connie, he's going to leave my team and just stay there and wait. But always try to stay airborne, because time can be a little bit of an issue. If you see a character is on your team with just a sword icon, that just means they're just going to normal attack. The higher their grade is, the better a chance of a one-hit kill. S is basically the best you can do. Green icons always represent a side mission, like green smoke from a distance. A red exclamation mark is basically the final mission or your main objective. Remember, the thunder spears can target even the arms, the nape, or even just the legs. I just want to destroy his legs so I can get the materials based off it. Now, as you see, Mitch has that icon over his head as well, just like Connie. Now, unlike Connie, Mitch is a one-hit kill. Mitch and Gene, I believe, are one hit kills. Haynes is also a one hit kill as well. If you do such a good job on killing Titans at a certain level, and if you kill a certain number of Titans in any stage, with some of them that don't appear, you will see what is called the dire target situation. The dire target will appear. This is a character that you should easily always try to kill because the rewards is worth it, and I guess they're kind of boss character level. Never try to capture this character unless you destroy both arms and legs first. You just be wasting good items and characters. Sasha and Haji as support characters cannot capture this character in one go. In order to capture and beat this character, first you must destroy the stamina gauge, which is the green part of their body, which is usually on their arms or legs. Once you've destroyed the green section of their body, then you can target that actual part. It's basically like their set of armor. Aaron and Armin and a few other characters have the ability to automatically give you a quick attack boost for a good while. That's what makes them good support characters. Always line up those double circles the best you can, and that'll always give you a critical attack. You will know you've initiated the critical attack when you see the numbers turn gold. If not, it's not a big deal if you couldn't do it, but if you really want to do the maximum damage, that's what you basically have to go for. I'm going to try to go for a capture instead of a kill. Sometimes it is more rewarding to capture a Titan, even a boss or dire target, because of how hard they are. And just remember that even though it seems like it shouldn't take this long to take down a Titan, I am underneath Eden difficulty, which is the highest. So Titan's health even changes with the difficulty as well, beyond how you expect them to act. Basically, their entire behavior, attack patterns, and health is highly affected by difficulty. But if you have the blades like I do, the chainsaw, sometimes you can bypass the green stamina armor that a Titan has mid-boss, basically, and automatically just attack. When you also initiate this support attack with Aaron or Armin, and you have this blue aura around you, it also prevents your blade gauge from going down, and it prevents your gas gauge from going down, so you're free to use those as much and as fast as you want while you have access to use them. Always try to get a good position before you attack. This way you can initiate that critical. And now with this kind of character, like a Dire in the boss, since he only has his neck, his nape is left, all you gotta do is either use the net normally, or if you want to just be dramatic, just use somebody like Haji or Sasha and capture it instantly. Never miss up an opportunity for a dire target. When you see one appear on the stage, always focus on that before you go on then to your final objective. Let's see. Okay, here we got the smallest titans that have no ability to attack arms or legs. If you really just want to take them out in one shot, just use your capture gun and one shot fire and it's instant capture. They're one of the easiest titans to deal with no matter what difficulty, because you can capture a small titan instantly no matter what. But always make sure you do a lock on first, this way you don't miss. And also remember, sneak attack requires your blades and your gas gauge in order to initiate perfectly. Always try to get a Titan to want to just pick you up instantly. If you can, quickly use one of your support characters to get you out of the situation. The difficulty can make it even hard, like Inferno and Eden will make it fast for a Titan to try to kill you once he captures you. Once you do that, just quickly choose any character that's available as a support and they'll instantly free you. Once that happens and you think you can be in danger, just use the X button and get out of there as fast as you can, or quickly initiate a flare if you have it in your inventory. Sometimes you can always guarantee a Titan is going to not capture you, or sometimes messing with them can lead to you almost being defeated. But depending on the skills that you have set for your character will determine if you want to use how you want to initiate instant kill. Once you've done everything you need to do in the stage, side mission, dire target, you've put up as many bases as you may want to, just go to the red exclamation part and deal with the final mission, which is usually a boss character easily. If you're used to dealing with a dire target, then dealing with a boss character shouldn't be that complicated. But the dire target is stronger than a boss. But they do share only one difference between them. One will beat, if you beat the boss character, the stage is over. You beat a dire target, you just get some good rewards. Always get that green armor the minute they come back. But remember, you only have to cut all the limbs off if you want to do a capture. Otherwise, you can just go right directly attack the nape and don't worry about the rest. One other little thing before you do decide to want to capture or kill a Titan is always press the start button and go to your map. Go underneath the Titan and press A. If it says captured in red, that means you don't have to. But if you don't see the word capture, that means you should, because that will help your Titan research out. Since this Titan's already been captured, I'm going to do it anyway, just for the rewards. That's pretty much all you have to worry about when it comes to battle. What bases you want to use, the side missions, who you want as your support characters, when the dire target appears, and complete the mission. With the DLC, because this is territory recovery mode, every NPC's maximum level is 15. Without the DLC, their maximum level is 10. Camaraderie will always end at rank 5. Now, once you come across the map for the first time, you'll be seeing red circles instead of these white or beige colored circles. Every time you defeat one, it'll always span off into the other stages. Once you believe you've done enough that you can do in a stage, you just go back to your main base on the top, click on it, and it will end the exhibition automatically. It'll just give you a quick results screen to tell you how well you did. That's all you need to worry about. Never run out of fatigue, because that can affect your characters, especially the ones that you use the most. The only thing I can teach next would be what makes these weapons unique. Let's see. As you can see in the upper right hand corner, I have a dialogue event in progress because I got the camaraderie between characters to the highest level. But that's not important at the moment. Now, basically, with blades like the first generation, second, and third, they're just your standard blades, nothing really special about them. But you will be accustomed to them because that'll be your first weapon in the game. Reinforced is just a more standard, stronger form of the weapon. Stirmaster is basically it's a little stronger than your standard 2 other weapons, but the blade length is going to count, because you do have to worry about how the blade length is, because that'll be the distance between how you attack the Titan. The longer the blade, the less you have to worry about. As you can see, blade length between these two is basically 100, while the Stirmaster is just 60. But think of it like a knife to a sword. Now, something like a Tiger Zero is going to have the highest length of a blade, almost practically a katana level, sort of. But 200 is the highest blade length. Now, when it comes to special weapons, you have something like the Shadow Raven, which has a special effect. It's one of the first weapons to have a special effect known as the Deadly Blow, which is supposed to be able to kill a Titan in one hit. I've never really tested this out, but I do like the concept. This is the blade that I started with ever since I found out about it. I can't pronounce his name honestly. So I just call it the chainsaw blade. It basically damages bosses more than your normal standard weapon, but there's also a cost. Your heightened detection rate goes up, meaning it's almost like the Titans can hear the buzzsaw of the blade going. So you're going to be detected even quicker. But like I said in the one little battle tutorial, you don't have to really fear being in the danger zone because you can deal with one-on-one between you and the Titan, especially if you're dealing with a horde situation. Now this type of weapon is designed for the friendship leveling up, which is basically what buddy effectiveness is. With this blade, you can easily level up friendship with any character in the story modes. I don't know if it has any effect on camaraderie, but it could. Your basic imp blade is basically a weapon designed for anybody who just don't care where they attack the Titan from. Since you do have to attack a Titan from a good angle, this negates all of that. It just attacks the Titan directly without worrying about what angle. Gunblade is just a weird type of weapon. It's like an explosive bomb in your hand that won't affect you. But its durability is going to make it a problem, so that's something to think about. Heat Sword is basically a weapon that can burn every part of a Titan if done correctly. And if you combine it with certain equipment, it makes it more effectiveness. For an example, I'll show you soon. Alpha Slicer is basically a sword that is designed to paralyze a Titan. Pretty much that's all it does, is just paralyze. It's a stunner. Fury Blade, I'm not 100% sure of. It's supposed to initiate perfect reload effect, which I'm not 100% sure exactly what that is. I haven't messed with that enough. Chrono Cutter is basically a weapon that freezes a Titan in time. It just slows down a Titan to make it easier to battle him. Your Magi Edge is basically one of the most unique weapons they have ever created, even for a DLC weapon. In other words, if you take a Titan with arms and legs available to attack, if you cut off his arms and legs and leaves his head, this weapon will automatically capture a Titan free of charge. So here's something to think about. If you really care about capture, like let's say all you want to do is just capture Titans without killing them, here's your perfect weapon. All you got to do is make sure that this weapon cuts off every Titan limb first, and it's an always 100% guarantee capture. Duster really doesn't do anything, but it is kind of funny to look at it. It can get strong once you reach Legendary Duster. Scabbards are basically designed to do the gas pressure capacity and of course house extra blades. Each one does have its own rules. Like some will give you max blade at 3, 5, 7. Some will even just give you 2 or 1. But apparently each one works different. You just got to figure out what equipment combined with it is perfect. For an example, let's see, like with Heat Axle for instance as a scabbard. If you combine this with the Heat Sword, you're basically going to have the perfect weapon to attack a Titan instantly, because with the Heat Axle and the Heat Sword, the fire basically gets a boost in level, basically. Makes the fire last longer and does more damage. So you have a good combo right there. If you can, with these equipment, if you can combine everything that's required on the bottom, you get what is called a equipment set effect. Each one's got one at least, but it's up to you if you want to use it or not. This type of combo, Heat Axle, Heat Sword, and I don't know, Heat Machinery, is definitely worth trying at least once. I'm not 100% sure what Magi Coffin does. Boost mechanism reinforcement. Not 100% sure what that really means. I've never really tested it. I'm still trying to improve the one that I have, making it stronger and upgrading. Chrono Blaster, basically, Chrono Booster, my bad, is just going to help you attack faster every time. Like, once you beat a Titan, it'll give you a quick boost to your attack, so you can quickly attack another one. Uh, Fury Scabbard has something to do with the perfect reload, but as I said, I'm not too familiar with what it does. Your omnidirectional is basically how fast you move in the air and how long you can stay around a Titan. Always advised to pay close attention. Sometimes what they say about these pieces of equipment do live up to what they actually do say. For instance, like heat machinery really is fast. Once you start upgrading it, you'll start seeing that it really is faster than what they say. So I definitely recommend all the fire stuff easily. Heat machinery, heat axle, and heat sword. If not, just go with what I normally go with, the sword. The chainsaw sword. And of course, if you have the DLC, you will always have access to all of the firearms that they've created, including just your standard gun, a rocket launcher, or, yeah, I guess rocket is a good way of putting it, sniper rifle, submachine gun. I'm not sure how to classify this, but it does look cool. Crossbows. And this is actually a laser gun, which is very effective and cool. Now, the only thing I can't figure out is what the ammo belt really does. Or I just don't get what it really means beyond the obvious. Gas capacity, gas pressure, and precision. I guess because of precision, you want that about as high as you can possibly expect it. Anti-personnel ODM is basically just what you use on your back to fly around, which is a little bit different, but it does look cool. And you can upgrade and reinforce blades and firearm equipment, even sell them if you so choose. If you do have a special conversation in territory recovery mode, you'll see characters anywhere, NPCs on the field, and they'll have hearts sitting around. You could have maybe 2 characters, 3 characters, even 4 characters. All you gotta do is walk up to them and talk to them, and it'll initiate a special conversation. Let's see what else. Basically, if you have any more questions, just all I require is you ask in a comment section. You can find me on twitch.com/darkoverlordd. I always ask people if they have a question, just ask. Just be respectful of the chat room rules. Let's see. I can't really think of anything else that I could add to it. With the DLC also, your Wings of Freedom is going to go from 99 all the way to the level of 999. And once you reach 999, you might as well start spending them on anything. You could even go from, basically, your Wings of Freedom with the DLC is going to cover every mode. Story, Inferno, another mode, and territory recovery mode as well. So you don't have to worry about do they stay or do they leave. So, as I said, any questions or comments, I only wish the people would ask me, that's all.